remember the first one, it didn't work. And then if I squeezed the microphone and put pressure on the diaphragm, it would work. And then if I let go of it, it would make that ticking noise.
It's almost as if buying cheap knockoff Chinese stuff on Amazon isn't worth it.
Cal's has been fine. Cal's got this exact same mic and he's used it for all of the Wine Lad stuff.
Right, so run through to Cal's room, swap him around real quick. Mum's the word.
How are you doing, Jakey?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Like, absolutely fucking knackered. And I don't know why. Just
You're the busiest man in lockdown I've ever known, and I've known a few men in lockdown.
How are you guys?
Sides?
Yeah, not too bad. Getting by. Keeping busy.
I dig a big hole today.
Is this for the shed?
Yeah, I reckon I dug out about a ton of earth. And I'm everything hurts now. This manual labor arc is bullshit.
Good exercise.
I don't plan on making a habit of it. I've dug a big square or rectangular hole, and it's very, it's not level. So tomorrow's job is figure out how to level it.
Sweet.
Literally leveling the land.
I remember, like, when I've done landscaping stuff before, you just get like a big bit of wood and chat's a flat bit of wood to it and you pat it down. I believe it's called a tam because I get that word in Boggle quite a lot. A tam is a piece of wood attached to another wood used for leveling ground.
Are you sure you're not talking about making crop circles?
That what you used to make yours?
I have.
We actually did used to try and make crop circles back when we were kids, yeah.
I've made a few. Actually, no, no, none of us did. It was aliens.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing we're doing lockdown today, are we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think the idea being that we have now reached the third official UK lockdown, and there are three of us, and it is the original Trilogy podcast. It just seemed like the obvious thing. 3 lockdowns, 3 idiots.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm into that. Sweet.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, do you want to introduce us then, Jakey boy?
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay.
Heavens to
goodness
Betsy.
gracious.
We're in a Snoopy cartoon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the original Trilogy podcast.
That's easy for you to say.
Episode number 4. Very easy to say. I'm Jake Martin. That hasn't changed. That would be weird if it had. And these are my co-hosts.
I'm still Gaz Brookfield, sadly.
I'm still B-Sydes. B-Sydes. Hello.
Cool. So, as always, we're discussing things that come in threes, and it's lockdown number 3. So we're talking about lockdown. So, cool. Who wants to go first? And when I say that, I mean I don't want to go first.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Shall we just take it in turns to discuss our favourite things about lockdown number 1?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I think it's very easy to slip into complaining about the lockdown, lockdowns, and finding all the negative things. We all know what the shit things have been. So I think we should take this opportunity to relish in the wondrous things, the brilliant things, the downright superb things that have made our lockdowns the wonders that they have been.
God damn it, man. You've convinced me. Right, Gaz, what was your favourite thing about lockdown number 1?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my favourite thing about lockdown number 1 was suddenly finding myself up to my neck in recording. It wasn't planned, but it turned out to be the best thing that I could have done because it kept me completely rammed busy every single day throughout the whole of lockdown 1.
So, yeah. Okay, so for those of you not in the know, Gaz Brookfield's last album, Lockdown.
Imaginatively titled album, Lockdown.
Well, I mean, what else were you going to call it? Do you know
Must have given yourself a day off after that, mate.
Oh, I know. That was an entire day's worth of thought.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, look, that's what I liked about Lockdown 1. What about you, Jake? What did you like about Lockdown 1?
Okay, my favorite thing about Lockdown 1, and like once again, I mean, I didn't think to record as soon as you did. I I was a bit debaucherous, shall we say. Basically, I didn't think it was going to really last 3 months. I was one of the people that was like, nah, the media, blah 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 blah, it'll be a few weeks. So I got pissed as a fart for the entire 3 months. And one of my favorite things was people's sense of humor and general online content. It amazed me what an amazing sense of humor we have as human beings during a global pandemic. It kind of stops during the second and third lockdown, but do you remember there used to be so many random like YouTube vines of just people doing random shit? Like I remember my friends from down the road would post a random 30-second video every day of them doing something weird in lockdown. So it'd always be like him playing Eye of the Tiger on a Casio keyboard while she did little weights, like dressed as a bunny rabbit or something, just weird shit. And there was so much humorous online internet content with people just kind of lifting each other up and kind of almost taking the piss out of the situation. Like, well, we're all locked inside, we're going crazy. And yeah, I thought that was really uplifting. And and I was drunk all the time, so I thought it was hilarious. So, how about you, Mr. Sides? What was your favorite thing about lockdown one?
B-Sydes, tell us your thing.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it's the only lockdown that everyone kind of took seriously. So my like in the build up to like the lockdown and like the start of the year had been a bit manic for me personally, and so because everyone was taking it seriously, it was just really weird. And I really loved the quiet. Everywhere was quiet. Like no one was there. Like if we go to the supermarket, no one's there. Like no one's driving past like the house or the road. It's just you go outside and it's just complete silence. And it was just like someone went boop, put the world on pause, and like, but I was somehow still able to walk around in the world. It seemed really weird, but I just like that kind of life on pause for a minute. And obviously that lasted all of kind of like a few days till I'm kind of like, all right, I'm ready to unpause now. I've broken it. How do we unpause it?
It was very nice being able to walk around places that were usually very busy. And it almost had that kind of like, I don't know if you guys, especially if like, I guess Gaz, you're in a bigger city than both of us, but being in town, like I had the music from 28 Days Later always playing in the back of my head a little bit. It was like almost like being in a zombie movie, which is cool because I fucking love zombie movies. I think we can all agree that Lockdown 1 was okay. It started off, it had legs. It did well. I might even say my favorite. Haven't quite decided yet. Okay. I guess we're going around in circles. So that would bring us to Mr. Brookfield again.
What I've written here next to Lockdown 2 is, was it even real? Because it was like November, right? That was when it was. But the fact that I can't quite remember suggests that it doesn't really resonate with me as an actual lockdown.
I had to Google it before this to remember when it was. I was like, I don't know. It
was a lockdown, but then the rules weren't particularly lockdowny, were they?
The good thing about Lockdown 2, I guess, that it didn't feel like a lockdown.
So we're saying less restrictions on whole in lockdown number 2, and if they're, or at least the same as the first one, no extra restrictions, and you're kind of used to them, and you know where you kind of got used to lockdown at that point, so you know what to do to cheer yourself up and keep yourself motivated.
Yeah. So whilst it didn't feel like a lockdown, and that's probably a bad thing because it really should have done, because it's a fucking serious thing, it didn't, and so therefore it didn't feel too restrictive.
But that is, you're only saying the actual truth, and I think a lot of people, when Lockdown 2 was announced, actually kind of said the same thing. There was a lot of people online, especially on Facebook. I'm still on Facebook. I'm old. I don't know what Twitch is. I've never had Snapchat. I don't know how it works. So, but yeah, there were lots of people going, but this is what we're already doing. So
okay. I mean, you getting pressure to use like weird apps and teenagers.
I'm feeling my age. So yeah. Anyway, moving away from my ever agingness, Sides, what was your favorite thing about Lockdown 2?
I guess it was that kind of like the social aspect that you were maybe allowed a couple, people in your house. Was that during lockdown? You were allowed to like have
I think you.
Was that not?
It wasn't in your house. I think
maybe it wasn't.
It was post lockdown 1. You could have people in your garden, couldn't you?
I retract that then. This is the problem, because I can't remember what we were allowed to do and when. And
no. Well, after Lockdown 2, then we went into the tier system, which then made everything very confusing, even more so. So Lockdown 2, I'm pretty sure, I have to Google this. Were people allowed round?
I can't remember when and where. No, maybe not actually.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think, no, they weren't. No, you're right. They weren't. So the social aspect in terms of socially distanced walks, because I was getting out and seeing family that way instead, and doing the whole 2 meters apart, and yeah, it's a good way of kind of catching up, and it's something that we hadn't done
Ever.
ever in my life.
In a long time.
But even
No, I have the same. I have friends who I've never been on a country walk with.
yeah.
Friends who I don't think even own walking boots, and I've always thought I'm the only person I know who owns walking boots.
Most middle class thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
Friends that don't even own walking boots.
No, I've never been to a farm shop for the couscous.
Doesn't even have a cane, sir.
But no, I thought I was the only one who was sad enough to have walking boots. I've always had, because I've always liked walking. But yeah, it made us socialise like that instead of down the pub.
Well, yeah. That's all we had. So,
Didn't you guys both do the couch to 5K thing as well? Or did I imagine that while I was?
Yeah, I did in lockdown 1. I've done couch to 5K and back to couch again.
It's the long way round. My favourite thing about lockdown 2 was the TV adverts.
There is a good advert. There's no such thing as a good advert.
Well, this is my point, but they I've never laughed so hard, because I think in lockdown number 1, everybody was kind of, you saw a few of these adverts coming up, but by lockdown 2, every single company in the world would have the advert, and it's always something really cheesy, like, the world is changing, grandma's here, daddy's there, the kids are at school, and it would be like, give each other space, evolve, harmonize. Yeah, Asda, half price. It was every single advert was this beautifully kind of like almost independent fucking movie with cellos behind it about how the world is changing in lockdown, and then it gets to the punchline and it's like, half price tires at Dave's Motors, and it just amazed me how every single capitalist bastard in the world are like, oh, well, COVID, that's in this season, let's do a COVID advert.
Your little presenter voice, where was that from?
My presenter voice?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was Irish or American. Can you narrow it down a little?
All right, and so lockdown 3. Well, for those people watching this immediately, if you're like bang on watching this, you're still in lockdown 3, as are we. If you're watching this after lockdown 3, what lockdown are we in now?
What was your favorite thing about our current lockdown?
My favorite thing about our current lockdown is the fact that I've moved house. We were talking about it during the first one, and we came to the decision that we were probably just having like a knee-jerk reaction to the whole thing, and the fact that we were missing our friends, and did we really need to move house, or is it just the lockdown thing that's making us a bit meh? But then by the time the second one came around, we were still talking about it, so we started just looking at houses and figuring out where we might want to move to, and we had this idea of, like so many people have, because of the Rona, decided they want to move to the countryside, and then bit by bit it all just sort of fell into place, and we've ended up moving to the countryside with fucking fields all around us, and there's walk the dog and there's just no one around, and there's no litter, and it's just lovely. I mean, everyone's fucking posh.
Well, you are in the West Country, darling.
I know there's a lot of flat caps around here.
Are you bringing the value down of the houses? Is that what you're saying?
What, us?
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm quite happy being the scumbag in the area.
As long as you know that you're the scumbag, it's fine.
So, I mean, like, I'm amazed you haven't done this years ago, really, because you're like, and I mean this like with love, not offensively. You are definitely a country person.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Like, you are better suited to the country.
I have loved living in Bristol, and we were there 11 years.
Wow.
And it was an amazing. Yeah, that's like a quarter of my life. That's incredible to think that I lived somewhere that long, and I love it. I still love it, and it's not going anywhere. It's still there. All the things I love about Bristol are still there. We can still go to Bristol. It's, we can still have a night of boozing down the Bank Tavern and walk around the harbour side and stuff like that. But yeah, we needed to get into the country, mainly just to get away from people, I think. So,
are you like, is there a train station or anything near you guys, or do you get taxi?
Actually, Joe, there is one of those little novelty train tracks with a steam train on it that goes a few miles in one direction and back again. It's got like a restaurant on it and stuff. It's one of them.
Oh my God, you're in that kind of countryside. Oh my God. The one thing I will miss about you living in the city is I will miss you complaining about the roustabouts on the road.
What, you mean the people that lived around where we lived?
Yeah.
You know what? It was a novelty at first. But I think the thing that really, the straw that broke the camel's back was when we used to live opposite Co-op, which had a car park adjacent. And one day, not even one night, one day in broad daylight, I looked out of our lounge window and I saw a woman pissing in her own face.
Oh, yes!
How's that possible?
And I was like, do you know what? I think I might move house. Besides, tell us your favourite thing about this current lockdown.
Because this lockdown coincided with New Year, it kind of coincided for dry January for us, and so that's been. Although I think dry January is nonsense generally, it's actually been really good. And we've done over 2 weeks now and started to feel pretty good as a consequence. So yeah, no, it's been good. So I have to say, kind of health, I suppose, like making.
You look hot.
And,
like, I mean, sexy as balls.
Don't lie to my face like that.
You're a very sexy face. I could not lie to it.
But yeah, so yeah, not boozing, and we're not having any like takeaway or anything. So trying to be very good. But then come February 1st, we'll ruin it for ourselves. But I mean, it's nice to feel good for a couple of weeks, and I don't want to, yeah. It's just. Are
you like going to get hammered on February 1st, or are you going to kind of take the lessons that you've learned from a month of sobriety and kind of be like, oh, I'll have a bit? Is it going to be a kind of less drinky now, or are you just going to be like, I did a month, fuck this shit?
I think it will be in general less drinky, but I think Feb 1st is going to be drenched. It's going to be a wet Monday.
Hasn't Cal taken the week off?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's not a good sign, is it? Yeah.
But he's going to play video games. It's not to crack a cider at like 9 a.m. or whatever.
Really?
I mean, maybe. I'll just have to police it. It's fine.
Well, yeah, I look forward to seeing the first live stream that week. That's going to be a banger.
It'll be upside down. It'll be great.
Jake, haven't you been loads healthier as well since the last lockdown?
Yeah. I'm pretty much off the booze as well. But I am. Which was just, yeah, like I hammered it so much through the first lockdown. Which kind of blended into the second one. And then obviously I have a birthday in November. And then you've got Christmas. So yeah, just before Christmas, I decided to be less drunk and not like if I'm stuck at home, I can do one of two things. I can get blindingly drunk and write songs, which therefore never really get used for much because they're not as good, or I can stay sober. I can do a bit of kickboxing. I can write songs and be sober enough to record them, which is what I've been doing. So yeah, sobriety has definitely helped me be more prolific. I've been much busier and kind of like you said earlier about lockdown 1. Actually, like that's actually my lockdown 3 thing. My lockdown 3 is starting new musical projects and recording them all, and just getting into the new band stuff, writing the new album. So yeah, no, my thing for lockdown 3 has in fact been the kind of the soberness and the prolificness.
No, I just want to say about the sobriety thing, man. I think it's congratulations are in order for both of you. As you know, I haven't had a drink now for 6 months. I think it's fair to say that our next actual tour is going to be boring as hell.
We'll remember the words a lot more.
Exactly. It's going to be so coherent. We'll remember everything. It's going to be weird.
We won't have any of that nonsense about trying to get a cab back from the venue to the hotel because we'll just drive there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
This is, I mean, it almost sounds like things are going to be better.
Let's not go too far.
I think we've successfully remembered and celebrated the good things about the lockdowns. So I guess I put you on the spot earlier by suggesting this, but let's equate the lockdowns to a trilogy of movies. We all really like a movie. I think I'll kick it off if you like. I'm going to definitely equate this to the Indiana Jones trilogy. There are only 3 Indiana Jones films, as you know.
Yeah.
Yes, didn't happen. Didn't happen, nor will Lockdown 4. So this is currently The Last Crusade, what we're in right now. We had Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom, as you know, it's a bit, and of course we had Raiders, which just like actual Raiders, Lockdown 1, the protagonists play no actual part in the outcome of the movie. Much like us during Lockdown 1. So yeah.
Nice.
Elegantly done there, Mr. Brookfield. All right, Mr. Sides, you're up.
Can I have a franchise instead of a trilogy?
You can have whatever your little heart desires.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. I'm going to go for the Fast and the Furious franchise because it was shit at the start with Lockdown 1, and it's got progressively stupider and stupider and worse, and I feel like that represents the Fast and the Furious franchise.
To slightly rip off the Wine Lads podcast, their second one was Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
And the third one is 2 Wine Lads, 2
Wine, 2 Lads.
2 Wine, 2 Lads, that's it.
Yeah.
This one would be the third lockdown is, what is it? 2 Lockdowny, 2 Furious? Oh, I don't know.
2 Lockdowny, 2
there
Furious.
If you don't even know what it's called, well, it's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous.
But hopefully there won't be as many lockdowns as there were Fast and Furious movies.
What about you, Jake?
Let me think. I would liken them to the Die Hard trilogy. The first one, exciting with all the fills and bangs. The second one, basically exactly the same. And the third one, very, very sobering.
Oh, nice.
Did you not enjoy Die Hard 3? Die Hard with a Vengeance?
I did. I did. I thought it was amazing. But you take Samuel L. Jackson out of that movie and you've got fucking nothing.
I think I saw Die Hard 3 at the cinema with my mum. And
I do remember thinking as well, like, oh, yay, they finished now. Good old Die Hard. They scraped through, like they've done the trilogy. And then nothing happened. Much like in Indiana Jones.
There was no Die Hard 4 or 5.
Okay, so I feel like we've managed to go through each lockdown and be quite positive about it. I think, like, considering we're 3 of the most miserable twats on the planet, I think we can pat ourselves on the back a little bit there. Yeah. Is there anything that we'd like to talk about before we round up?
No.
No, AOB from me. It's all good.
Sweet. Well, it was bloody lovely talking to you again. If you were listening or watching, thank you very much. Please follow us on all the things. If you watch on YouTube,
follow us on all of the old people's social media.
Yeah. Somebody tell me what Snapchat is or how Twitch works. But no, subscribe to the YouTube. Go over to the Facebook, www.facebook.com/totcast. And you can also get us on Spotify, Apple Music, all the other places you'd expect to find a podcast that we don't know about because we're old. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good lockdown, everybody.
Enjoy.
Have a good lockdown.
Bye.
Love you to see you all. Goodbye.
Oh, we're doing 2 hands. Sorry. Well.
Nice one, boys. Awesome.
There we go. And done bang on 2 minutes past 8. Look at that for efficiency.
No, I'm going to go and watch a movie with my wife.
All right, you sexy bastards. I am going to go eat leftover nut roast and drink lots of herbal tea.
Kiss my nut roast.
Kiss my nut roast.
And with that.
Oh, fuck you now.
Yeah, wow. You going too?
Yeah, I'm off, buddy. Love you, dude.
Bye.
Love you, sweet. Bye.
Bye.
And that didn't work. Ready?
Oh, it's just me. This is weird. I forgot my phone.